All right, you guys, welcome back to Mixtape Talks. Today, I'm taking over the episode, and I think this is something that really has to be addressed, and not because it's crazy important, it's because I get the most questions asked about this. So, I drive a 2006 Mazda that has a crack down the window, it's missing a hubcap, and it's full of goldfish. And anyone with a parent knows, anyone that's a parent knows how hard it is to keep your car clean. So this car I've had for, God, I want to say going on 8 years, 9 years, and it's been paid off. And people are always asking me, Jay, you own 2 gyms. Why don't you have a G Wagon? Why don't you have a Mercedes? Why don't you have whatever insert luxury car that you think you should have as an entrepreneur? And it always amazes me because there's so much more to it in my grand scheme of things than driving a G Wagon. So for me, what's important to me is actually making sure that what my expenses are, my overhead for home, so my rents, my car payments, what we pay for my daughter is as low as possible. My big end game, you guys, is not to have a G Wagon. My big end game is to own multiple businesses. And we do have 2 gyms now. I would love to have a 3rd. Having my expenses so low, having the Mazda with 187,000 miles allows me to have more freedom to be more aggressive on the business side of it. I think where a lot of people go wrong is they try to keep up with everybody else with either the G Wagon or the Mercedes or the Beamer or the houses, that they put themselves in such a predicament financially that if that business doesn't thrive, they're going to be in limbo of losing everything. One thing I didn't ever want to do is not have that financial freedom of being able to go on vacation with my family, or, hey, let's take a weekend and go to the beach. And for me, what that looks like is keeping my bills to a minimum. The most expensive thing I probably spend money on nowadays is probably my daughter's school and my daughter in general, right? But what that allows me to do is that allows me to be more aggressive with taking a risk in opening Chino Hills. It allows me to be more aggressive financially in taking a risk in opening a 3rd gym. It also prepares me for ebbs and flows in business. 2019, you guys, was an amazing year for the gym in general. West Covina, we killed it. We made a lot of money. All that money I saved, and thank God, because we know what happened in 2020. But if I would have taken that money and got that luxury car to kind of fit that profile of entrepreneur, right? You see like, oh, entrepreneur, 2 gyms, he should have a really cool car. I don't. I never wanted to fit in with that. I knew what my end game was, and I gave myself 5 to 10 years. And right now I'm approaching year 5, and I have 2 gyms. Both of them are running beautifully. So my long-term goal is having that 3rd gym. My long-term goal is having one more stream of income. And if that means I have to bring everything else down to a bare minimum, meeting my lifestyle, then that's something I'm able to do. I want to do. That's something I feel a lot of you guys should do. I get questions all the time about like, hey, well, I want to open a gym. And I'm like, it always comes down to where you're at with your capital. So if you handcuff yourself to a Beamer, if you handcuff yourself to this outrageous mortgage that you just want this beautiful house to show other people, hey, look I have this house, then you're doing yourself a disservice in the long run, because no business on the history of Earth has ever ran perfectly for the entire time. There's going to be times where business will be slow. There's going to be times where you're not making as much. And if every time you make more money in business, you buy more things, it's going to handicap you. So the reason why I drive that car, you guys, is because my big 10-year goal is to own multiple businesses. And I know that the freedom that allows me financially by having a car paid off for 8 years. I haven't had a car payment in I would say 8 to 10 years, because prior to that, I had a Eclipse. If you guys knew me during the Eclipse years, yeah, I had a beat up Eclipse, and that thing was paid off even prior to that. So, I mean, realistically, I haven't paid money for a car for going close to 15 years. And it's been great. I still take that money that I make every month and I set it aside as if I do have a car payment. So that goes into savings, that goes into future ventures, that goes into future businesses, future whatever it is that my heart's into. And right now my heart is really into maximizing my time here on earth to set my daughter up. And if that means driving around in a Mazda for another 5 years, I'm okay with that. If that means having people judge me when I pull up to the gym, like, oh, he's a gym owner in a beat up Mazda, I'm okay with that. If it means dropping my daughter off in her private school when every other parent has a Lambo, a Tesla, whatever car it is, I'm okay with that because I know and I'm confident in the long-term goal. So those of you guys that are listening to this, I would say the first step to financial freedom, or just kind of, if you have a vision for yourself in business, it's don't attach yourself to these material things. Don't attach yourself to something long-term. Don't attach yourself to keeping up with the Joneses, right? Like if you have a watch that you've had forever, keep that watch. You don't need to upgrade to a Rolex because everyone in your crew has a Rolex, or because you've seen your favorite influencer floss a Rolex. Stay true to yourself. Stay true to what your goal is. Make those sacrifices now for your family, for yourself, and for your future business venture. So that's the response I'm going to give everyone that asks when they see me in my Mazda. I hope you guys, you see me pulling up, wave to me. I'm the one missing a hubcap with a crack in the windshield, but I have not paid a car payment in 15 years. And I own 2 gyms, and I eventually will have a 3rd one. So time stamp this, you guys, and always go back to this podcast, this episode in general, if you feel the need to buy something. When you guys see me in an actual G Wagon or something, just know that car is being paid by my business. That's your end game. Everything I own should be paid through my business, not personal. I'm not taking money out of my savings to put to my checkings to pay for this car note. It's because all of my businesses are running well. I put myself in a financial spot to where I let all my business pay for all my toys. And that's when I will officially know that I've made it, and I feel confident in investing in something that's about $200,000. Even then, I don't even know if I would still get it, because that's still a hefty car. Even though, people are tax write-offs, I don't think those people understand how tax write-offs really work. But yeah, you guys, we want to do these short episodes and just answer a lot of questions that people have had. And that one seems to be the number one thing when they see me roll up to the gym. If you go to West Covina, or you've been a trainer at West Covina, you see me park in the front, I'm proud of my car, And again, it comes back to, I'm very confident in my vision. I can care less if someone talks shit about my car. I can care less if someone talks shit about anything I do, because I understand the vision. I understand the long term. I understand the sacrifices I have to make now for my future self, for my future family, to make sure they're set up. So remember, don't listen to what anyone says. If you have a plan, write it down and stick to it. Until next time,